Sweet, sweet coffee do I need you after the Rumble. Triple H has come under fire for dodging questions about Vince McMahon, the real reason for Bron Breakker's main roster call-up, WWE and TNA's working relationship revealed. I am Luke Owen, and this is Wrestling News.
Support Wrestle Talk.
I'll move it off screen. I'll move it off screen. I'll be professional. It's been a crazy 72 hours for WWE. On Thursday, a lawsuit was released alongside coverage from the Wall Street Journal from a former WWE employee named Janelle Grant, who has accused its former CEO Vince McMahon of sexual assault, coercion, and sex trafficking. While not having a huge amount of involvement with WWE, Vince McMahon was still serving on the board of TKO as an executive chairman. McMahon has denied the allegations and has said in a statement that he will vigorously defend himself. Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics noted on Twitter that Vince could not be removed from his position in TKO, and the only way he could leave is if he left of his own volition, which is exactly what he did. It was announced that McMahon was resigning from TKO as executive chairman with immediate effect. WWE has since removed McMahon from its own website. If you click his profile, it goes to a dead page. And PW Insider report that TKO could remove anyone from the company closely associated with McMahon for a fresh start. Ronda Rousey, who left WWE last summer, gave her thoughts on this on social media, noting, "Bruce Pritchard is basically Vince's avatar. If he's still around, Vince still has a hand in the business. Vince was still running things through Bruce when he was gone before. I doubt Ronda's coming back to WWE anytime soon then." McMahon stepping down came off the back of Slim Jim's announcing they were postponing their sponsorship with WWE, a huge financial blow to the company. Following the announcement that McMahon was stepping down, Slim Jim's, and this is a deadly serious quote here, announced they were re-entering the Royal Rumble, not only airing a commercial during the show, but being the main sponsor for the Universal Championship Fatal 4-Way. The Royal Rumble was a big day for WWE to do press to promote themselves, and it meant that some of the wrestlers had to answer questions about Vince McMahon. The Orlando Sentinel reported that multiple WWE stars declined to comment on the subject. However, Nia Jax told Nick Hausman that they would just move forward, while Natalya told the Orlando Sentinel, "I've seen and I've read what everyone else has seen and read. I feel like at the end of the day, the best thing we can do, especially as women in the locker room, is keep moving forward." It sounds like Natalya's done more reading on the topic than WWE's own chief content officer. There was a huge question mark over the course of the day on whether WWE would still do their post-show press conference in light of the Vince McMahon news. In the end, they did. While Cody Rhodes has been commended on his dealing with the questions, Triple H has not received those same comments. Rhodes was asked about the allegations by Nick Hausman and responded, "I know as far as the news is concerned, we are finding it out and reading the same things that you guys are reading." It sounds like Cody Rhodes has done more reading on the topic than WWE's own chief content officer. As far as TKO, Nick Khan, the board clearly took it very seriously, acted immediately, and looking at the future, I don't know the answer to that. He then moved on to talk about the positive environment backstage in the locker room, noting they are very team-based. It was a measured response. He didn't dodge, he didn't deflect, and that's exactly what Triple H did. John Albert was the first to ask Triple H about the McMahon situation at the press conference, to which he replied, "Look, we just had an amazing week. A 10-year, $5 billion Netflix deal, Rock joining our board. We just sold out the Royal Rumble, put 48,000 people in Tropicana Field. I choose to focus on the positive. Yes, there's a negative, but I want to focus on that and just keep it to that." His immediate deflecting of the answer prompted a follow-up question from The Ringer about WWE's safety of its own performance so that people in power do not take advantage of them. Triple H said, "I'll give you the most generalized answer that I can. Everything possible. This is a very important thing to us, a very important topic to us. It's as simple as everything possible." He then had a third question on the subject where Brandon Thurston asked him if he's read the lawsuit, to which he replied, "I did not." He instead referred back to Cody's comments and reiterated, "This is an amazing week for us. At this point, I don't even want to get bogged down in the negatives of it. I just want to focus on the positives." It is stunning to hear the words amazing week given the last 72 hours that WWE has had. His comments came under fire on social media. Many compared it to Tony Khan's post-show media scrum performance following World's End, where he answered serious questions about Chris Jericho while wearing a silly wig and sunglasses. Jimmy Van of Fightful noted that calling this an amazing week is not what he would have said, but understood it was a difficult position to be in. Dave Meltzer, on the other hand, who has been a big supporter of Triple H since he took over creative in WWE, called the responses on Wrestling Observer Radio tone deaf and added the most important, the most influential, the most powerful individual in the history of this business resigned yesterday in disgrace, and he's your father-in-law. How is this a great week for the company? Triple H did not have great responses, but like Jimmy Van noted, it was almost an impossible situation. WWE could have either gone through with a press conference and deflect the questions as much as possible and come under fire, or they could have cancelled the press conference because they would have deflected the questions as much as possible and come under fire for that. There is a middle ground to that though, which is to go in with a prepared statement. Some have argued that Triple H should have been more prepared for these questions, and it felt like he wasn't even expecting to be asked about it. But what did you make of the Triple H press conference? Let me know in the comments down below. Another name that has been implicated in this Vince McMahon lawsuit is Brock Lesnar. Though not named in the suit, the Wall Street Journal said that people close to the situation believe that Lesnar is the WWE superstar that is referenced in Grant's suit against McMahon, where she alleges that Vince offered Grant up for sexual favors as part of a contract renegotiation in the summer of 2021. It had been reported by Fightful Select that Lesnar had been scheduled for a WWE return at the Royal Rumble, but those plans were changed in light of the lawsuit. PW Insider then reported Bron Breakker was being brought in from NXT to replace Brock in the Rumble, and Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio noted that because the match had been scripted and plotted out, Breakker was just given all of Brock's spots. Meltzer said Bron Breakker essentially was given the Brock Lesnar role. He came in when Brock was supposed to come in, he threw out the guys that Brock Lesnar was supposed to throw out, he was thrown out the same way Brock was going to be thrown out. Which is hilarious, as if true, it means that Brock Lesnar was going to be eliminated by Dominic Mysterio. But Bron Breakker was not the only surprise appearance last night. Like you would imagine, the Royal Rumble had a lot of surprising moments. The WWE returns of Andrade and Naomi, Pat McAfee getting in and getting quickly out of the Rumble, and the WWE debut of Jade Cargill. But perhaps the most surprising of all was entry number 5 in the Women's Royal Rumble. The current TNA Knockout Champion, Jordynne Grace. Grace lasted for quite a long time in the match, nearly 20 minutes, before being eliminated by a brutal-looking KOD on the apron by Bianca Belair. Look, I don't have to tell you how surprised I was about this cameo. You can probably hear it in my voice, and you'll be able to see it in this clip from our live reactions.
It's Jordynne Grace! It's Jordynne Grace! TNA Impact TNA Champion Jordynne Grace! Holy oh my God! Someone Trinity! Someone Naomi knows very well, because this is the woman who defeated Trinity. Naomi! Oh my God!
Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful Select reports that Grace is still signed with TNA and that WWE reached out to them last week to inquire if they wanted to give someone a spot in the Rumble. Fightful seemingly add that TNA was not the only company, as WWE reached out to outside companies for a surprise entrance. Brian Alvarez on the Brian and Vinny Show noted that WWE and TNA do indeed have a working relationship together now. Whether this means talent going back and forth remains to be seen, but Grace appearing in the Rumble and being credited multiple times as TNA Knockouts champion is certainly a good start. The only thing we do know for certain is that Triple H did use this as a chance to take a shot at AEW and their Forbidden Door name. That's all from me, but you can check out Ollie Davis's review of the 2024 Royal Rumble by clicking the video on screen right now.